in one particular verse in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, the whole world pursues. So the glorious deeds of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ramachandra, are enshrined in the epic Ramayana, which is as popular today as it was millions of years ago. Jai Srila!
भगवान रामचंद्र के जो महान कार्य है वो एक महान ग्रंथ रामायण में घोषित है और वो आज भी उतना ही पॉपुलर है, उतना ही जो है प्रख्यात है, तो कई वर्ष पूर्व था।
Lord Ramachandra is as popular today as he was in Treta Yuga. He's a very special personality. He's the Supreme Personality of God.
तो भगवान रामचंद्र आज भी उतने ही प्रख्यात है जितना त्रेता युग में थे, लेकिन वो साधारण व्यक्ति नहीं है, वो परम भगवान है।
So this is a very historic day that we're all acknowledging that his place of birth and his pastimes of youth, Indradyumna, they built a wonderful temple to mark that historic occasion. Beautiful temple. I watched the inauguration on TV today.
तो आज बहुत ऐतिहासिक दिन है क्योंकि भगवान के जन्म स्थान, उनके कर्म भूमि को आज एक बहुत ही भव्य और सुंदर मंदिर का रूपांतरण किया गया है और महाराज कह रहे हैं कि उन्होंने स्टूडियो में कितना सुंदर मंदिर बनाया गया उनके लिए।
Jai Shri Ram! Of course, all of Shri Ram's heroic deeds are again enshrined in the Ramayana by Valmiki.
और वाल्मीकि रामायण में उनके सभी जो महान कार्यों को घोषित किया गया है।
The Ramayana consists of 24,000 verses.
रामायण में 24,000 श्लोक हैं।
It's 6 cantos.
6 कैंटो में बांटा गया उसको।
And it comprises 500 chapters.
और 500 चैप्टर में इसको बांटा गया है।
So I thought to speak on Ramayana today, but where do I start? It's just this vast ocean of nectar. Where do I start speaking about Ramayana?
तो महाराज कह रहे कि मैं कहाँ से बोलना शुरू करूँ? रामायण इतना भव्य प्रतीक है कि कहाँ से शुरू समझ में नहीं आ रहा है।
So I opened up the Ramayana. My eyes were closed. I had a big Ramayana. I opened it up like this, and I put my finger down, and I looked. I said, okay, that's what I'll speak about today.
तो मैंने रामायण का को थोड़ा आराम करके तो उन्हीं ने कहा जो पेश खुला मैं आज वही बोलूँगा।
It's said that by tasting one drop of the ocean, one can understand what the whole ocean is like.
जैसे कहा जाता है कि अगर आप समुद्र के एक बूंद का स्वाद कर लो तो पूरे समुद्र का स्वाद आपको समझ में आ जाता है।
So when I put my finger down, I was maybe 50% through the Ramayana there.
तो जब मैंने अपना उंगली रखा रामायण पे तो लगभग 50% कंप्लीट हो चुका था।
And the setting of where I was Rameshwaram or Setabandhu. It's the most famous place where Lord Ram crossed from Bharat to Sri Lanka over a bridge.
मैं जिस कथा पे पहुंचा वो रामेश्वरम की कथा है जब भगवान रामचंद्र भारत को क्रॉस करके श्रीलंका पहुंच गए थे राम सेतु के बाद राम सेतु का निर्माण हो रहा था वो उपाख्यान है ये जो भी रखाई
that was assembled by Hanumanji. Jai Hanumanji! And the other monkeys and bears so that Ram could cross over the ocean and rescue Sita Devi. Sita Devi ki!
बनाने में हनुमान जी और अन्य सभी जो बंदर वानर और भालू लोग ने हेल्प किया था भगवान राम को ताकि वो जा करके सीता मैया को वापस ला सके।
It's actually one of the most exciting parts of the Ramayana where Sita is finally rescued.
ये बहुत ही उत्साहजनक वाक्य है जहाँ पर फाइनली सीता मैया को राम जी वापस बचा के ले आते हैं।
Rescued from who?
किससे बचाया?
No, I don't want to hear his name. Ravana means, in Sanskrit, he who makes the universe scream. He captured Sita Devi. He thought by going all the way to Sri Lanka and hiding her in the Ashok garden, no one would find her and he could enjoy her.
तो उसने सीता मैया को जो है किडनैप करके जो है अशोक का वाटिका में जाकर के कैप्चर करने लगा ताकि कोई उनको पकड़ न पाए और वो खुद उनका भोग कर सके.
But fortunately, Hanuman, who has so much shraddha, so much faith in Ram, he leaped. He's a monkey. He leaped over the ocean to Sri Lanka and he found her in the Ashok garden.
भाग्य से हनुमान जो है वो एक ही जन्म में जा करके लंका में जा करके अशोक वाटिका में सीता मैया की खोज कर लेते हैं.
And he told her, Sita, Ram is coming.
और उसने कहा सीता मैया राम आ रहे हैं.
So he flew all the way back to the tip of India and he told Ram, I know where Sita is, she's in Sri Lanka, let's go and get her.
और फिर वापस पुलिस जाते हैं और राम जी कहते हैं कि मैंने सीता मैया खोज कर ली है और तुरंत चलो उनको हम वापस ले जाते हैं. So
Lord Ram and his army of monkeys and bears, they marched to the very tip of India and came to the ocean.
और जो राम जी और सभी मानव सेना के साथ जो है एकदम भारत के अंतिम पड़ाव तक पहुंच गए.
Now Ramayana describes that when Lord Ram arrived on the shores of the ocean, the pastime is, he thought, how are we all going to cross this vast ocean?
तो जब राम जी अपने मानव सेना पहुंचे तो देखा इतना भव्य समुद्र जो सामने है तो कैसे पार करेंगे.
Of course, he's a beginner Swarat. God is all-knowing because he's present everywhere. So he could easily make the arrangement to cross over the ocean. No problem.
लेकिन भगवान के लिए बड़ा कार्य नहीं था. जो स्वराज है वो सर्वशक्तिमान है, कुछ भी कर सकते हैं.
But because his devotees were always begging him for service, were always begging God for service, he gave the service to the monkeys and bears.
लेकिन क्योंकि उनके भक्त हमेशा उनकी सेवा चाहते हैं तो इन बानरों को सेवा में लगाने के लिए उन्होंने रामकृष्ण का निर्माण शुरू किया. God
is very great and we're very small.
भगवान महान है और हम लोग न्यूनतम हैं.
He is the master and we're the servants.
वो है वो मास्टर है, हम सर्वेंट हैं.
It's very nice to be the servant of a glorious master.
और एक बड़े महान मास्टर का दास बनना बहुत ही उच्च बात है.
Who takes care of you. Who takes care of you in every way.
और जो हमारा हमेशा ख्याल रखेंगे.
We're always begging for service, aren't we, to Krishna?
हम हमेशा भगवान की सेवा मांगते हैं.
What does it mean, the Mahamantra?
महामंत्र का मतलब क्या है?
My dear Lord, my dear energy of the Lord, Shivarika, please give me service at your lotus feet.
हे भगवान, हे राजा रानी, प्लीज हमें भगवान की सेवा में लगाइए.
We don't chant mechanically, we chant with feeling.
हम मैकेनिकली चैंट करते हैं, हम भाव के साथ चैंट करते हैं, जप करते हैं.
Oh my Lord, I'm drowning in this fathomless whirlpool of material existence.
हे भगवान, मैं इस गहरे समुद्र में भौतिक संसार में डूब रहा हूँ.
Oh, you who give shelter to the shelterless.
और आप जो है एक शेल्टरलेस व्यक्ति को आप जो है आश्रय देते हैं.
Please, dear Krishna, just this one time, extend your hand and save me.
हे भगवान, एक बार अपने हाथ बढ़ाओ और मुझे बचा लो.
That's how we chant with feeling.
और इस भाव में हम जप करते हैं, कीर्तन करते हैं.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. One time a disciple, he asked Prabhupada that question that always comes up. Prabhupada, what does the Hare Krishna Mahamantra mean?
एक बार एक शिष्य ने प्रभुपाद से पूछा, प्रभुपाद, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का क्या मतलब है?
So on that occasion, Prabhupada kind of paused.
प्रभुपाद जी थोड़े शांत हो गए.
He closed his eyes.
अपनी आंखें बंद कर लिए.
He thought for a moment.
और कुछ सेकंड सोचे.
He opened his eyes.
अपनी आंख खोले.
He looked at that disciple.
और उस शिष्य को देखा.
He said, my dear son, what does this mantra mean?
और उसने उसको कहा मेरे प्रिय मित्र इस मंत्र का मतलब क्या है?
It means my friend, my friend, my friend.
इसका मतलब है मेरे दोस्त, मेरे दोस्त, मेरे दोस्त।
So Prabhupada stated that. So when we chant, it's not mechanical. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. No. Chant some feeling that we're fallen and we need mercy.
तो प्रभुपाद ने कहा कि हमें मैकेनिकली जब नहीं करना चाहिए, भाव के साथ चैंट करना चाहिए।
And mercy means service.
और भगवान का मतलब है सेवा।
Because by service, you're recognized by Krishna.
सेवा से आप भगवान के द्वारा रिकॉग्नाइज हो जाओगे, उसका जाने जाओगे।
Just like if you have some children, they want to play all day. But you ask them to do some household chores. Help with the dishes, help clean the house, please. Help wash the clothes. And if they do that service, you feel endeared to your children. Oh, you're good boy, you're good girl. Here's some ice cream. It's a simple analogy, but actually that's Bhakti. Krishna becomes endeared to those who serve him with love and devotion. So Ram pretended, how are we going to cross over the ocean? He knew one of his servants would take up the service. So the first person to speak up was Vibhishana. He advised him, you should perform some tapasya, Ram, and ask the ocean to help. Who is this Vibhishana? Vibhishana was the younger brother of Ravana. He was a Rakshasa, he was a demon like Ravana. Valmiki said he was a noble character. And when Ravana kidnapped Sita in the Dandakaranya forest, Vibhishana insisted to his brother, Ravana, you give that girl, you give that princess, you give that queen back to Ram. You nonsense. And when Ravana refused and was going to slap Vibhishana, he left and he went to join Sri Ramchandra. And when he showed up in the camp of Ramachandra, everybody went, whoa, that's the brother of Ravana, get him out of here. You know, the demons have the little horns, and fiery eyes. He came, I want to be a Ram Bhakti. Yeah, right, you want to be a Ram Bhakti. Go back to Ravana. No one trusted him. However, Lord Ram is very compassionate, and after hearing different opinions, he gave his verdict, which gives hope to all aspiring devotees of the Lord who come from the kingdom of Maya to join Iskcon.
तो भगवान राम बहुत ही दयालु है और जो भी भक्त उनके शरण में आते हैं वो उनको धैर्य देकर उनको उत्साह देते हैं कि तुमको मैं माया से बचा लूंगा। ये भगवान का आश्वासन है।
Ram could see the heart. Ram could see the heart of Vibhishana. He could see the heart, so he had a little bit of trust in him.
भगवान राम ने विभीषण के हृदय में देखा और उन पर भरोसा किया।
He said something very famous in it, which gives us so much hope.
और उस समय में बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात कही जो हम सब के लिए बहुत ही उत्साहपूर्ण होप देता है।
Listen to what Ram said to all the assembled monkeys and bears.
और ये सब मानव को भगवान राम ने उसने कहा।
He said, it is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me,
ये मेरी प्रतिज्ञा है कि अगर कोई व्यक्ति मुझे एक बार सीरियस अगर वो मेरे आश्रम में आता है तो
saying, my dear Lord, from this day on, I'm yours,
मेरे प्रिय भगवान आपसे मैं आता हूँ,
and praise to me for courage,
और उनसे जो धैर्य के लिए जो मुझे प्रार्थना करता है,
I shall immediately award courage to that person.
और उस समय मैं उसको एक जो है उपहार देता हूँ, देता हूँ,
And he will always remain safe from that time on.
और उस समय से वो जो है निर्भय हो जाएगा आजीवन काल के लिए।
So, like that asura who had a change of heart, let's all take the same vow today.
और जिस प्रकार वो विभीषण असुर का जो हृदय परिवर्तन हुआ, आज हम सबको प्रतिज्ञा करना चाहिए।
Imagine you're before that beautiful deity of Ramachandra that's just been installed by your Prime Minister Modi in Ayodhya. You're sitting in front of that beautiful deity.
आप एक बार कल्पना कीजिए कि आप आज जो विग्रह की स्थापना हुई है प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के द्वारा, उस विग्रह के सामने आप बैठे हुए, ऐसा कल्पना कीजिए।
Okay, just close your eyes and imagine you're in front of Ram.
सब लोग आँख बंद कर लीजिए और उसको इमेजिन कीजिए, कल्पना कीजिए कि आप उस विग्रह के सामने बैठे हुए
And you're speaking to him directly.
और आप उस विग्रह से बात कर रहे हो।
Repeat after me.
मेरे पीछे बनाइए।
My dear Lord, from this day on, I am yours. Now in Hindi.
मेरे प्रिय भगवान, आपसे मैं आपका हूँ।
According to Ram, now you're safe. From that time on, no more problems.
राम जी के कथन से आज से आप सब जो है उच्च सुरक्षित हो चुके हैं और आपकी इसमें सारी समस्या खत्म हो चुकी है।
Thank you, Ram! Thank you, Ram! Thank you, Ram! So that asura of sorts, he'd given advice. He said to Ram, do some tapasya and call upon the ocean to help you.
तो विभीषण के असुर थे, उन्होंने कहा कि तपस्या करो और समुद्र देवता का आह्वान करो।
So it's amazing. Ram followed Vibhishan's advice and he sat down for days fasting to get the blessings of the ocean.
और राम जी ने विभीषण की बात को मानी और कई दिनों के उपवास में बैठ गए समुद्र देवता का आशीर्वाद प्राप्त करने के लिए।
The Ramayana, Canto 6, Chapter 21, it's called Yuddha Kanda, describes the penance that Lord Ram did to get the mercy of the ocean to pass over.
रामायण के छठे खंड में 21वें अध्याय में बताया गया कि क्या तपस्या राम जी ने किया समुद्र देवता का आशीर्वाद प्राप्त करने के लिए।
Do you want to hear the penance that Lord Ram did?
क्या आपको सुनना है क्या उन्होंने किया?
I'm quoting the scripture.
मैं शास्त्र से बता रहा हूँ आपको।
Thereafter Ram, the annihilator of enemies,
उसके बाद राम जी जो सभी दुष्टों का संहार करता है,
spreading sacred grass on the seashore,
और एक पवित्र घास पर बैठ गए समुद्र के तट पर,
making a respectful salutation by joining his palms
अपने हाथों को हाथ जोड़े
to the great ocean,
समुद्र देवता की ओर देखते हुए,
with his face turned eastward,
और उनका जो मुख है वो पूर्व दिशा में झुके हुए,
lie down in the sand with his arm,
और रेती में अपने हाथ पर लेकर बैठ गए,
resembling the body of a snake as his pillow.
और एक सर्प का शरीर जैसा उसको तकिया बना करके,
Remaining there for 3 nights,
और उस मुद्रा में वो 3 रात तक रहे।
Ram, who is skilled in policy
और राम जी जो सभी प्रकार के कलाओं में निपुण है
and fond of piety,
और जो है पुण्य कर्म के प्रवक्ता है,
waited upon the mercy of the ocean, the Lord of rivers.
और जो है समुद्र देवता को भी मांगने लगे कृपा के लिए,
But nothing happened.
और कुछ नहीं हुआ।
The ocean didn't reciprocate.
जो समुद्र देवता ने उन्होंने कोई भी आरंभ नहीं किया।
The ocean just said, not interested. Buddha, you're the demigod of the ocean, the Supreme Lord is calling upon you and you're ignoring him? Watch out. Sometimes the demigods get a little bit deviated. You know Indra, he became a little angry at Krishna and inundated Vrindavan with torrents of rain. So Ram, he got really frustrated with the ocean. He stood up, took one of his arrows, shot it into the ocean. So the Ramayana, Valmiki puts it very poetically. Because poetry has a way of melting our hearts and awakening. Devotional poetry awakens Bhakti within our hearts. There's a saying, what is the use of a bowman's arrow unless it pierces his enemy's heart? In the same way, what is the use of devotional poetry unless it melts the hearts of the devotees? So, so therefore, Valmiki, he described this shooting the arrow into the ocean exquisitely beautifully. Swaying his terrific bow, and making the earth tremble by the violence of Ram's releasing his arrow. He made a sound like the thunderbolt of Indra, boom, as the arrow entered into the ocean, like a tsunami. And the ocean started boiling over. And when all the fish and all the aquatics started screaming, the ocean personified came out with folded palms and surrendered to Shri Ram. There's nothing better than seeing someone surrender the Supreme Personality of God. Now the Skanda Purana describes the scene when Varunadev came and surrendered to Ram. It's so heart-touching. When I read the verse, my hair standed on end. Would you like me to share with you that verse from Skanda Purana? Jai Shri Ram! Jai Hanuman! It's a little long, so sit up straight. Take a deep breath. And fix your attention. This is describing the ocean surrendering to Ram. The valiant ocean, the Lord of rivers, wearing a wreath of pearls, his eyes resembling lotus leaves,
उसके जो आँख हैं वो कमल पत्र के समान हैं।
Bearing a beautiful garland made of all kinds of flowers on his head.
और अपने सिर पर भी जो है अलग अलग प्रकार की जो है मालाएं पहने हुए हैं।
With ornaments of refined gold.
और सभी सोने का आभूषण पहने हुए।
Adorned with excellent jewels made of pearls from his own domain.
और अपने ही प्रकार से उठाए हुए मोतियों की माला और सारे पेड़ पहने हुए।
Decorated with different kinds of gems and metals.
और कई तरह के दीप रत्नों से सुसज्जित।
Resembling Himavat mountain.
और हिमवत पर्वत के समान दिखते हुए।
Wearing on his broad chest a locket made of white luster.
और एक सफेद रंग का एक लॉकेट अपने हृदय अपने वक्ष पर पहने हुए।
Which resembled a kastuba gem.
वो कस्तूरबा के समान दिखते हुए।
With a multitude of waves whirling around him.
और जो है समुद्र की लहरें जो है उसके आसपास बहते हुए।
Encircled by the clouds and the winds.
और जो है सारे बादल उनको घेरे हुए।
Escorted by rivers, mainly the Ganga and Sindhu.
और गंगा और सिंधु नदी के साथ।
Endowed with diverse forms resembling various deities.
और कई प्रकार के विग्रहों का रूप धारण करते हुए।
Approached Ram with joined palms.
और हाथ जोड़े हुए भगवान राम की ओर आगे बढ़ते हैं।
Who stood with arrows in hand.
जो अपने हाथ में तीर लिए खड़े हैं।
Addressing him first as Lord Ram.
और भगवान को कहते हैं हे प्रभु राम।
Spoke the following words.
और ये जो आगे वाली लोग कहा।
That's the introduction. Describing how, Varuna, dressed beautifully, came before Lord Ram. And now, he's going to speak some words to Ram. The Ramayana is so beautiful. So this is what Varuna said to Ram. Oh, beloved Ram! Earth, wind, water, and light remain fixed in their own nature. Therefore, I am fathomless. And my nature is that it is impossible to swim across my waters. I am telling you now how to cross over me. Oh, excellent man, Ram. You have one Varana monkey named Nala, the son of Vishwakarma. Let this greatly energetic monkey build a bridge over me. And over that bridge you can go and you can conquer Ravana and rescue Sita Devi. Jai Sri Ram! Jai Sri Ram! Jai Sri Ram! Jai Sita Devi! Jai Hanumanji! Hare Krishna. It's getting late. Should I stop? No. Sure. You don't want to go home and go to sleep. So under this monkey Nala's guidance, the monkeys and bears in Ram's army began building a bridge. Over the Indian Ocean. And I read that the distance is about 800 kilometers. So what they did is that they gathered trees and shrubs and rocks and boulders and began throwing them into the ocean to build a bridge. Now, the Skanda Purana
चंद्र पुराण में
gives a detailed report on how the construction took, how far they got every day.
तो चंद्र बताया गया कि हर दिन वो कितना दूर तक समुद्र पे पुल बनाने के लिए गए.
Skanda Purana Ki. So I studied that and meticulously wrote down, because love is in the details, how far the bridge was built every day.
तो महाराज कह रहे कि उन्होंने चंद्र पुराण में उसको बहुत डिटेल को निकाला है बुक करके. तो डिटेल का मतलब है डिटेल पानी से जाए तो उन्होंने उसको दिखाया हर चीज के साथ सब बनाते हैं.
So the first day they built the bridge 180 kilometers.
पहला दिन 180 किलोमीटर का ब्रिज बनाया उन्होंने.
On the second day they covered 256 kilometers.
दूसरे दिन 256 किलोमीटर.
On the third day they covered 270 kilometers.
तीसरा दिन 270.
And on the fourth day they covered 283 kilometers.
चौथा दिन 283.
And the fifth day 294 kilometers of the bridge were constructed.
पांचवा 294 किलोमीटर.
So if you're into statistics, some people are, their business is statistics, just memorize that. That's all you need to know.
तो अगर आप इसको बहुत करना करोगे तो बहुत ही इसको करते रहना लेकिन बहुत डिटेल है बहुत सूक्ष्म है.
So during that marathon, a number of very significant things happened.
तो उस जो मैराथन के दौरान हमें बहुत सारे बड़े महत्वपूर्ण कार्य हुए.
As the monkeys and bears, worked with all that material that was sinking to the bottom of the ocean, especially the rocks and boulders that just go down to the bottom of the ocean. That's a problem.
तो ये समस्या आती है जैसे मतलब देखे तो कोई कार्य नहीं करना पड़ेगा.
So the monkeys, who had great faith in Ram, they came up with this idea.
लेकिन मानव को भगवान राम के बहुत विश्वास था. उन्होंने एक योजना निकाली.
They took the bricks, the stones, and they wrote on the stones, Ram.
तो उन्होंने एक पत्थर को लिया और उसको लिखा राम.
And by writing Ram on the stones started floating.
और राम लिखते जो है ये सारे पत्थर तैरने लगे.
So in the Gita, Krishna says that he's the source of mystic powers.
गीता भगवान कहते हैं कि योगेश्वर है. सभी लोग उसको स्वामी है.
He's the master of all mystics.
और वो है सभी जो मिस्टिसिज्म के स्वामी है.
Namachintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. He's present in the sound of his name, so therefore the stones, they mystically floated and didn't sink to the bottom.
तो भगवान के नाम चिंतामणि कृष्ण. कृष्ण का नाम जो है वो बहुत ही मिस्टिक है. इसलिए उसका नाम लिखते ही सब पत्थर तैरने लगे.
One time I met a Ram Bhakta.
एक बार एक व्यक्ति जो नाम बनता है.
He said, Maharaj, I'd like to tell you something. A shloka we have amongst Ram Bhaktas.
तो राम भक्तों के बीच में एक श्लोक है और वो व्यक्ति महाराज से उसको कहने लगा.
I said, yeah, what is it?
महाराज का पता क्या है?
He said, rocks with Ram's name will float, but a heart deprived of Ram's name will surely sink.
वो पत्थर तैरने में राम नाम को लेकिन जो हृदय जिसमें राम नहीं है वो डूब जाएंगे.
जय श्री राम! जय श्री राम! जय श्री राम! Now, famously during the construction of the bridge, Hanuman, he learned the lesson of humility.
तो इस बात को हनुमान को लेकर लेसन सीखे. एक फेमस लेसन उनको सीखने को मिलता है.
Of course, he didn't need to learn a lesson of humility. He's a pure devotee, but sometimes devotees have put themselves in situations to teach us.
Of course, हनुमान जी पर बात को सीखने बताई है. हमारे को सिखाने के लिए ऐसा वो मिला करते हैं.
So as Hanuman was taking these big boulders, writing Ram,
हनुमान जी बड़े-बड़े डोंगर उठा करके राम जी को फेंक रहे थे.
there was a little squirrel,
लेकिन गिलहरी भी छोटी थी.
a little squirrel who was a great devotee of Ram.
और एक गिलहरी जो भगवान राम की भक्त थी.
And with a little pot, she was putting in little grains of sand
और अपने
into the ocean to help make the bridge.
आपको छोटे-छोटे पाँव के हैं, थोड़े-थोड़े कंबल बैठे लेकिन हम गए।
So the pastime is, Hanuman came and said, "You little squirrel, what are you doing? I'm throwing in big boulders. You're just putting in these little grains of sand. What difference does it make?" And Ram came along, he saw what was going on, he said, "Hanuman, that's not the proper way to think. She's doing as much devotional service as she can. I take her service as important as yours." It's not so much what service we do, big or small, but it's the consciousness in which we do it. Krishna says, "You need to offer me with love, a fruit, a flower, a leaf. They're very insignificant. But offer it with love, then I'll accept." But best is to do big things for Krishna with devotion. That's the best. Like one time Prabhupada in his humility said, "My only fault was I always thought big for Krishna." Srila Prabhupada ki! Srila Prabhupada ki! Srila Prabhupada ki! So Ram appreciated that little squirrel. So he petted the squirrel. "It's okay, Lali, little squirrel. It's okay. I really appreciate this." With 3 fingers, he did like that. And that's why if you see the squirrels in India, little squirrels have 3 stripes down their back. Because Ram appreciated the service of that squirrel with his lotus hand. He marked the squirrel's back with his fingers. So that Jai Shri Ram! All glory to little squirrel! So the Skanda Purana describes what that bridge was like when it was finished. It says, "This beautiful and lovely bridge, constructed across the ocean, which was the abode of alligators." There were alligators in the ocean. "This bridge shone brightly like the Milky Way of stars in the sky." So finally the scene is set. Ram and the monkeys and bears are going to cross over the ocean. And we know that they're going to be successful. Prabhupada noted one time, he said, just as Lord Ram conquered Ravana in Lanka, so I am, with monkeys and bears, I'm conquering the world with my disciples. We're like, monkeys and bears and little squirrels. What is your name, Lali? I'm just going to call you Little Squirrel. Big round of applause for Little Squirrel.
भारत के रास्ते हम आपको विजिट कर जाएंगे।
She's a little girl, but she's listening to the Ramayana so attentively. This is a good sign.
तो इस बच्चे इस रामायण कितने गहरे और कितने आत्मा से जुड़ रही है, आज अभिषेक करें।
So the monkeys, they were just, monkeys scamper. All the monkeys, seen in Vrindavan. The monkeys were so eager to serve Ram, they started scampering over the bridge before the bears. The bears are going, boom, 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 boom. The bears, the monkeys.
तो वाला जो ये बंदा उन साथ है, वो एकदम भाग कर पर और जो भाग को धीरे धीरे आ रहे।
So Skanda Purana, chapter 6, from verses, chapter 6, Canto 6, chapter 22, from verses 83 to 84, it discusses how the monkeys cross the bridge. It's so cute. Would you like to hear how the monkeys cross the bridge? Some monkeys went along the middle of the bridge. Some others crossed along the sides. Some other monkeys jumped into the water. Some of them marched forward like military on the path of the bridge. Some monkeys flew in the sky like Guru the eagle. And the highly terrific sound of the ocean was covered up by the great sounds of the terrific monkeys who were crossing over the sea. Headed by Hanuman. Jai Hanumanji! Jai Srila! Jai Sitadevi! Jai Lakshman! No cheers for Ravana. So because of these amazing, you know what happened. It's 9:30. You know how Ram went and fought, and his final arrow into the heart of Ravana. Ravana fell. They got Sita and went back to Yoga. But as a final note, the Skanda Purana glorifies this particular place where this pastime took place, where the bridge was constructed and the army crossed over. That place is considered very sacred, Rameshwaram. Skanda Purana glorifies that sacred place. It's also known as Setu, Sitavandu, Setu. Skanda Purana, chapter 1, verse 22. The dust particles of the earth can be counted. The dust particles on the earth can be counted. The stars in the sky can be estimated. But the merit resulting from a visit to Rameshwaram, to Setu, cannot be known even by If anyone tells someone else, go to Setu, he also attains the same benefit, O Brahmanas. This is certain. If a person lies on the sand of Setu, and the particles of sand stick to his body,
अगर एक व्यक्ति उस सेतु में जाकर सो जाता है और वो जो बालू उसके शरीर में चिपक जाता है,
as many sins of killing brahmanas as there are in sand particles on his body are destroyed. There's no doubt about it.
जितने पार्टिकल शरीर में शरीर में लगे हैं उतने ब्राह्मणों को भी हत्या किया है तो तुरंत भूल जाएंगे, खत्म हो जाएंगे और इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है.
If a person thinks about someone who's taking a holy bath in Setu, the sin of associating with sinful people is dissolved from his heart.
अगर वो व्यक्ति सोच भी लेता है उस व्यक्ति के बारे में जो सेतु में काम कर रहा है तो उसको जो भी काम कर रहा है पापी व्यक्ति से जुड़ने के कारण सब भूल के काम हो जाएगा.
So this is just a drop in the ocean of the pastimes of Lord Brahmacharya.
तो ये एक समुद्र में बिंदु के समान है भगवान के अनंत लीलाओं में भगवान के लीलाओं.
People have been reciting this Ramayan for millions of years actually.
लोग इस रामायण को कई लाख सालों से वर्ष पढ़ना कर रहे हैं.
And each and every drop is relishable.
और हर एक जो इसका बूंद है बिंदु है वो बहुत ही relishable है.
And I could go on for many hours because there's many drops, but it's getting a little bit late. Let's just let these pastimes that we've shared this evening, capture them, keep them in your heart like you put precious jewels in a treasure chest and lock it so they never go away.
तो मैं कई घंटों में बोल सकता हूँ लेकिन समय सीमा है. यहाँ मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि आप इन सब विचारों को अपने हृदय में एक तीव्र के समान बंद करके उसको ताला मार दीजिए, लॉक कर दीजिए.
And I thank you for this privilege to speak some words from Ramayana.
और मैं आपको धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि आपने मुझे रामायण से कुछ कहने के लिए प्रेरणा दिया.
It said both the speaker and the audience are purified by Krishna Katha, Ram Katha.
ये कहा गया है कि व्यक्ति का अवस्था और श्रोता दोनों ही और भागीदारी होते हैं, दोनों में लाभ होता है कृष्ण कथा राम कथा करने से.
It's almost like the day is Ram Navami or something. I don't know.
आज अगर रामनवमी है.
But it's all glorious because finally a beautiful temple has been built at Yogapeeth where Lord Ram appeared. That beautiful temple there is actually for all of you to go and see this beautiful form of Ramachandra.
तो ये सब हो रहा है क्योंकि आज बहुत ही सुंदर सूर्य मंदिर का निर्माण का उद्घाटन हुआ है और आप सब जाकर सूर्य मंदिर में रामलला का दर्शन कर सकते हैं. महाराज कामना करेंगे.
So I just have one request.
तो मेरी आपसे एक अनुरोध है, एक प्रार्थना है.
I'm a poor sannyasi
मैं भिक्षु हूँ
and every day I have to do bhikshu. I have to go and beg for my maintenance.
मुझे हर दिन जाकर के भिक्षा मांगनी पड़ती है मेरे जीवनोपार्जन के लिए.
So I'm begging you
मैं आपसे भीख मांग रहा हूँ
to please allow me to come back and be with all of you again.
तो मुझे आप आगे दिन में दोबारा यहाँ का आपके साथ फिर से मिलूं.
Please give me the seva of sharing the nectarian pastimes of the Lord with you again, and please give me the nectarian privilege of chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, with all of you.
तो महाराज कह रहे हैं कि आप सब मुझे ये सेवा का द्वारा दें कि मैं आप सबके साथ आकर के हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र को बार-बार
No. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. And just one last thing before I go. It's a little embarrassing for me. Because typically sadhus, they shouldn't speak about themselves. But I'd like to leave you with a sort of a gift. It costs a little bit, but it's more of a gift than anything else.